What's up, guys? In today's video we're doing more work on the old Econoline. We're hopefully going to be finishing up a lot of the stuff. I'll go over what we've done so far, and then we'll get on to what we need to finish, which is a lot. We need to get that done in a short amount of time. So let's get started. So if you don't know, this is my dad's 1967 Ford Econoline Supervan camper, because it had a camper top, and we got to put that back on. That's one of the things. But I am going to use this as a winter daily driver, and it's getting close to winter. So we're on a time crunch to get this done. So what we've done so far is we've done a ton of rust repair, basically all new floors from about there to there, all the way that way. We repaired the doghouse. We've done all the wiring. We've repaired the roof. We've done a lot. And so, what we're currently having to do is we have to finish the brakes, which we're pretty close to doing. We have to do fuel tank, which I'll get to that in a second. We have to put the camper top back on, and we have to get the seats reupholstered. But that may sound like a lot, but I think we can get it done in a week or two. So yeah, let's get over what we still need to finish. So we still need to finish up the brakes, like I said before. We got the master cylinder back in, we got the pedal set up with it. We just need to reroute the lines, and we have a pressure switch for the brake lights. That should be coming tomorrow. We'll pick it up tomorrow from Napa, along with the new blower motor, because this one is crap. So we got that. We did have to convert that to an earlier style single pot master cylinder, because this is a 67. And it's the last year of this generation, but it's the only year of this generation that has a dual pot master cylinder, and the original one was crap. So we just had to convert it to a single pot. It's not the best, but it was going to cost us way too much money to do a dual pot. Now the other thing that we have to do is a gas tank. So the fuel pump does work, and it wasn't sucking up any fuel. And that's because the gas tank is bad. I mean, just look at the flange. That's pretty crap. But on the inside, it's all rusty. So I think we have a Mustang tank on order. And they're a little bit different dimensions, but they should fit. You just have to take the fuel filler neck, because it's on like the back. You got to switch it to the side. That's easy enough. And then we got to put the camper top back on. We repaired all of this part of the roof, so we've probably just got to finish grinding down a bunch of the welds and then paint it, and then yeah, we'll just throw it back on here. We were going to possibly try to find a new roof panel and just weld it in here, but that never came to fruition. We never found the right one, so yeah. We're just going to throw it back on here for the time being. Now, there is a bunch of other little stuff, like changing the tires on that side and putting in a new windshield seal. But that stuff shouldn't take that long. So that's not really major things that need to be addressed right now. So, yeah, let's get to working on this thing. So I'm going to start off today with painting these seat rails. They're not the best, but we'll take a wire wheel to them and spray paint them black, because who's going to care if your seat rails look a little bit pitted? I'm just gonna spray them with some paint, and yeah, that's pretty much all I can kind of do right now, because I can't really put on the doghouse because we still have to do stuff with some of the wires. We won't put like heat shielding stuff on it, but yep. All right, so it's the next day. These are painted. I still need to paint the other side, but yeah. And that is a windshield seal to go on the van, because obviously it's pretty bad. Like, it is rock solid. I mean, there's already silicone up here, so yeah. But other than that, doghouse is on. Yeah. And so my dad got a ton of parts today. We got the blower motor back in, brand new, and that works great. The fan, actual blade that goes on the blower motor, was like stuck on there, so we cut it and we beat it out and we welded it onto the new one. So yeah. And then brake master cylinder, talked about that in the last clip, and now the pressure switch is in there, the brake lights, so that's good. And then we rebent the brake lines because, like I stated before, I believe in the last video, the master cylinder for a 67 is a dual pot, but it's a 1 year only, and they're impossible to find. So we switched to a single pot, which, I mean, whatever, right? So we've got new lines on there. We had to rebend them. There you go. You can kind of see some of them. But yeah, had kind of an issue with trying to figure out the size for one of the fittings, but whatever. So tomorrow we will get the brakes bled. I believe a fuel tank is coming tomorrow. And yeah, we are getting pretty close. So good. Okay, so I've been trying to do some more clips where I'm like actually doing work, and it's not just an update of what I've been doing, but I haven't been able to do that. So you get another update clip. So that's the old tank, like from before, and so we chopped the vent guy off and we welded that onto a new tank, and we capped off the top and we put on a new filler neck. So I'll put a picture of that. And then, so you can see it's in there now. It's got the original straps. The O-ring for the sending unit is wrong, and the new sending unit's coming Tuesday. So yeah, we'll have to wait for that. But original straps did work. You just see that the J-hooks up there, the original ones are too short. So we just used some all thread and we bent it, and so that works. And yeah, so we also got the windshield out, and we got a seal on that. So hopefully soon, by soon I mean tomorrow, we can get this back in there. We've got this, the dash pad mostly cleaned up. There was a tiny bit of rot over here, so we just did some rust converter, some epoxy, and some seam sealer. So that's fine. And yeah, interior looking good as ever. We've got new brake lines bent. We got those on, so that's great. And we've got a pedal, so that'll be pretty decent for at least right now. And then once we drive it a little bit, we'll probably bleed the brakes after that, because it probably has to get used to having fluid in it. But that's what we've been doing recently since the last clip. So yeah, and then my mom got some more materials to do the seats. So hopefully we can start working on that. And yeah, hopefully we can get this thing done soon. So doing some cleanup right now because my dad's out doing stuff. And so everything that we need to do, I need my dad for, because I can't put it in the windshield by myself. Can't do anything on the roof without knowing what he's going to do on that. Can't do the seats yet. But got some heater ducts in for the defrost vents, so that's good. Got that one in. It kind of ripped off on the edge, so my dad glued that piece back on. I've got all of the rails finally painted, and the passenger seat is out there, finishing up. And then obviously just cleaning up, sweeping up the garage because it was a mess again. And that's all from underneath the car. It's a lot. Got a grinder disc, got wire loom, some metal pieces, and that's not even all of it because there was more stuff that we swept up from before and stuff that we've just been sweeping up. But that is a lot of, and look at all the grinding dust and rust crap and all the old wires. It's crazy. So I'm finished cleaning up and find something to do. Okay. So what we've been doing lately is we got a new fuel sending unit because the old one wasn't the right one because it's for the Econoline tank, and so the placement for it is different, so we had to like bend it, and the old seal was crap, and that's why it was leaking gas. So got a new one. Now that's put in, and now there's no leaks. And we had to change the fuel line size just going from the fuel sending unit to the hard line, but that's fine. And then we got an oil pressure switch hooked up, but it won't work with the light. Like just with the light, we think that it has to go with an actual like gauge. So there's that. And biggest thing is that the windshield's back in. That was fun. We figured it out. We figured out in the last like top section portion the best way to do it because, yeah. But it's in now. I mean, it is super old. It's got a ton of rock chips in it. So we might try to polish it, or yeah, we might just leave it. But yeah, windshield wipers are back on. So yeah, next step is most likely doing the roof and the seats. And once that is done, and putting a battery tie down or a battery box. But then after that, I mean, the rest of it, tires, we don't have to do it right now. And carpet, we don't have to do right now. But once we get a seat in and put the roof back on, take this baby out for its maiden voyage. Alrighty, so what we've been doing is Bondo work. So it's pretty decent. I still need to, now that I come out here, I can feel that some of it does need. The metal isn't really even, so that doesn't help. Like this part's really tall, like it goes up. But yeah, and then that needs to be filled in, which it looks like there's a ton of Bondo there, but when you look at it, it's pretty good. And if I put a straight edge on it, it's good. So I'm just gonna say that there was a lot of warpage in the metal. So once I finish all of the sanding on that side, then what I'll do is come in with some lighter stuff, and I'll fill in like a lot of those little spots that need to get filled in. Obviously right there, over here too needs it, and over here because it kind of sanded out all the Bondo. Right here is actually really good, except for this right here, which is the actual metal. So there's that. The other side, I put on way too much Bondo, so I could sand all of that. But that's gonna be my life for the next couple of hours. Hey, okay. Last little bit of Bondo that I'm putting on. This is the fine stuff, so it'll fill in a lot of the cracks. Like there was, or not cracks, but like divots. So like there's one right there. There's that huge one right there, and I already filled it in. And then I think a combination of not putting enough in, and I sanded it too early with the 150 grit instead of the 220 grit like I've been using for the rest of it. It sort of tore away a lot of that, so I put a little bit more right there. And there was a divot in the actual metal right here, so the actual Bondo wouldn't like blend. So I've got that. And then I'll just do another once over with 220 grit. And then hopefully we can get some primer, and we'll prime that all. And we're getting there. Also, I'm very dirty. I've been using the vacuum to vacuum it up because, I don't want to use the air hose and just blow it everywhere, because I'd like to keep my lungs for a little bit longer. But we're getting close. Oh, and this is a sign for if you have a board that you do Bondo on, clean it off. Because I put on a little, maybe 3/4 inch puddle of the fine stuff along with the hardener, and I started mixing it up, and it kind of just like disappeared. It was weird. So yeah, clean off your stuff. Okay, so all the body work on these is done. Got some primer this morning, and I'll talk about the journey to get that. But now this is all primered in, and I've sort of sanded down the edges so it's not just hard edges because I had taped some of it off. But now these are pretty dang good, and so I will get some paint soon. And at that point, then the roof will pretty much be done. We'll just paint this. We'll scrape off all of the old sealant that didn't work. Now, the story with getting the paint was this morning I was going to go and look for an electric turkey carving knife thing so that we can carve the foam for the seats. And I was also going to go get primer at Napa. Went to Napa. I was actually going to go and look for the turkey carver first, but luckily I took a wrong turn and went to Napa because the brake pedal of my car felt really weird, and I checked and I didn't really see any brake fluid. So I went and got some brake fluid at Napa, put it in, still feels weird. I tried bleeding them with my brother, but I don't know. I'm going to have my dad help me with that. But yeah, I get to feel brake fluid on my hands. Again, I despise brake fluid, microfiber cloths, and automatic transmission fluid. So the three things I hate having to feel and lay in and smell. So, yeah. But, hey, we've got the primer done on that. And luckily I don't have to work today, so I don't have to worry about not having a car. And, yeah. Oh, and also, trying to figure out the stupid license plate light. I don't get it. Because when I have this all in the housing here, so we painted it, but it's not, the light's not turning on because there's no ground. And so we ground down that. You can see some of the paint's taken off of that. And apparently the ground's supposed to go through like 5 billion different types of metal in order to get to the light bulb. But the only way that the light turns on is if the ground is directly touching the gold part of the light bulb. It won't even work if you're touching the housing. So great. But, hey, the roof's done. Maybe I'll become the body man, the bodywork guy. Instead of, definitely not going to be the brakes guy when I grow up. And most certainly, I'm not going to be the gas tank guy. But I liked doing the bodywork. It was wasn't necessarily easy, but I understood it. So, enough with the rant. Let's see what we're going to do. Alrighty, it's been a couple of days. Just kind of haven't really had the chance to work on the old Econoline. However, we fixed the license plate light, so that's good. I think it just needed a better ground because it was all crusty. Got turn signals working. I didn't talk about that before, but turn signals were being all funky. So there's that. And yeah, we started working on the seats too, which I'll reveal when those are done. And we've got some of this carpet that my dad bought. It's like generic, like patio carpet. But yeah, we just got that sort of set out here. So yeah, it's getting there. It's taking time is what it's taking. But we're close. And now everything electrical works. The temp gauge, the oil, light, turn signals, blower motor, everything works. So now it's just on to the nitty gritty stuff and putting a roof in. But